The general rule, politicians sue members of the opposite party, and it's typically posturing for fundraising emails, thus we don't interview them. But when a statewide politician sues a member of their own party, especially the president, pay attention. Nikki Fried is Florida's only statewide Democrat. She is the agricultural commissioner, which is actually a pretty powerful job in the Sunshine State. And she's suing President Biden over a federal rule that keeps medical marijuana users from either buying guns or maintaining concealed carry permits. You know, Ron DeSantis right now is kicking himself. There is some poor lawyer in the counsel's office getting yelled at for not having the idea of suing President Biden on this first. But Fried got there first. She's running for governor against DeSantis and joins us now. Thank you very much. Good to have you. Explain this lawsuit and what it's like to be a pro-gun, pro-weed Democrat who's suing President Biden.
First of all, thanks for having me on tonight. This is something that I have been talking about for a very long time. I came from the marijuana industry. I'm a past public defender, and I saw the discrepancies in our cannabis laws, not just here in the state of Florida, but across the country. I spent a lot of time in Washington, D.C. fighting on these issues. And this is something that transcends partisan politics. The fact of the matter is that here in our state and 37 other states across the nation have either some type of medical program, either in their constitutions or by statutes and legalization. And what's happened is, because of the federal laws, that the ATF form still says that, and they've actually added some additional asterisks onto it, making sure that if in fact you are a medical marijuana user, even in a legal state, that you are prohibited from purchasing a firearm. This is an opportunity really to say, look, medical marijuana needs to be legalized. We need to get past prohibition. And this is something, again, that I've been talking about for years. This is not an attack on the Biden administration. This has been an issue that has been plaguing Washington since.
In fairness, so the Biden administration has not necessarily done all that they can do to legalize marijuana and to deal with the banking issues and everything else. Although it does put you you're in an unusual position because you're pro-gun, you're suing on a Second Amendment issue. You're also the person who posted a picture on Twitter of herself maskless on an airplane and said, "Hey, congratulations, it's done. Your choice whether to use a mask or not." We went through some of the comments for that. You got threatened with excommunication for such happiness. How did this happen?
You know, I'm so heartbroken where our country is right now on even the pandemic, that it has been so divisive. And the fact of the matter is that, Democrats have been the ones who have been getting out these vaccines, have been making sure that we're getting this pandemic behind us. And hopefully we stay there. But certainly with we knew that the Biden administration was looking at lifting this ban on May 3rd already. I have been from, the get-go for the last year and a half, have been saying it is our job as government to give you the information to make sure that we don't try to politicize a pandemic, give you information on both sides, give you information to make sure that you're protecting your family, protecting your community, protecting your businesses and your customers if you're a business owner. And so I have said that I'm not in support of bans and I'm not in support of mandates. And so with the fact of the matter is, I do not agree with the actual ruling on the lawsuit saying that the CDC does not have jurisdiction over this issue. However, the end result is, going back to where I have always been, is that it's just a personal choice at this point. We know what we need to do to protect ourselves and to our family members. And certainly I was showing that was my personal choice last night to not wear a mask on the plane.
Understood. I'm thinking about being this type of Democrat in Florida, because in 2018, when Ron DeSantis won by the narrowest of margins against Andrew Gillum, and we're talking just 0.4 of a point, a centrist Democrat versus the progressive Democrat that he was, and then obviously Gillum turned out to have lots of other problems. This kind of message would have had a real shot in 2018. It didn't have a shot in the primary. Has that changed, or is some type of as moderate Democrat is such a dirty word in Florida as it is on Twitter?
It's interesting that you asked that question because Democrats in the state of Florida want to win. We want to win. We have issues every single day that are plaguing our state, and we need Democrats to fix them. And we're seeing that time and time again on the economy, on things that are happening in our state. So the issues that I talk about are transcending partisan politics. That's the way we bring our state back together. That's the way we bring our country back together. There are issues on both sides of the aisle that we all can agree upon. But because of the divisiveness, because we've gone so far left and so far right, we can't come back and come up with common sense solutions.
Yeah, well, probably the most divisive issue in Florida right now. There is nothing transcending party lines when it comes to Ron DeSantis taking on Disney or Disney taking on Ron DeSantis, depending on how you want to look at it. That's a powerful motivator for voters on the Republican side. And there's a lot of Democrats, moderate Democrats, who don't believe that first, second, and third year graders should be taught about transgender and transgender education and sex ed in school. How do you win the Democratic nomination while fighting against Ron DeSantis and then get those voters that you need?
Talking about the issues that actually people talk about every single day.
People do talk about this issue, though, don't they? Come on. Parents do.
They don't. They don't.
They did in Virginia, though. I mean, that's how Glenn Youngkin won.
I understand that, but every single day in our state, as I'm traveling and talking to the people everywhere across our state, whether you're down in Key West to Central Florida to Miami to the top of our state to the Panhandle, everybody's talking about the economy. We are seeing housing prices more than double, property insurance, property taxes, rent being increased by close to 60% in some locations. That's the issues that people in our state are talking about. These culture wars are intended to divide us and distract us about what is actually happening on the ground. I will stay focused on the issues. I will focus on the things that are actually impacting people every single day. I have been a fierce fighter for the people of our state.
Nikki, if you're going to sue President Biden, okay, as a Democrat, that says all we need to know about in terms of whether you're willing to fight on principles. We got to run. We appreciate it. Good luck. Come back and chat with us before the primary.
Absolutely, we'll do.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.